asked 100 artists what they would tell their past self when they were starting Artist Alley.
Just keep cranking it. They yap at me about it. And don't ever take edibles,
or else you're gonna get.
I don't want to wait 9 months.
Get off League, uninstall it.
I never went through our school.
Bring a sleeping bag.
Everything can be a business expense. And you wait in line and you bond over that collective UTI you're about to have.
Mualcaina.
madewithapril,
shooley,
jykdoodles,
kelsiekishidraws, thejuiceboxclub,
If you're a new artist just starting their journey in the Artist Alley space, or someone who's just interested in this creative space at all, this video is just for you. I had the great pleasure of speaking with 100 artists with different experiences ranging from pre-pandemic to this being their very first anime convention, and what everyone had to say was incredibly insightful. We're here at Anime Los Angeles. My name is Henry of stickerzoodesigns, and without further ado, what is one best piece of advice you would tell your past self when you were just starting Artist Alley?
If you're just starting Artist Alley, always go in with an open mind. After college, I worked in accounting for 4.5 years, and obviously when you're looking at numbers, it's black and white. Is it positive or negative? And so after I finish every single Artist Alley, I'm like, okay, did I make money or lose money? Am I in the green or am I in the red? But I've come to realize after doing this for 4 years now that you can't solely base your event or the success of the event based on the number itself. You have to look at the fact that, did you have better exposure for your brand? Did you network with a lot of people at the event? Did you have a good time? There's so many other things that make an event a good one, and it's not purely just looking at it from a financial standpoint.
Wow. Yeah. It's like a whole bunch of check boxes, and financial is one of the bigger green and reds, but when you add up all the other, things you said, like exposure at an event, branding, what you learned, all the greens and reds will add up together and it becomes a gradient. That's really well put.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just did an event recently and it wasn't that great compared to prior years, but I did meet someone there and he was like, I love your stuff, I love to carry it in my store, and he lives out of state, so that was an amazing opportunity for me, and that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't physically at the event and he didn't see my booth. Good luck to everyone who's interested in doing Artist Alley. It's truly a life-changing experience for me. I wouldn't change for anything in the world. It's super fun and the community is really tight-knit.
Bring a sleeping bag so you can sleep under your table. You're gonna get very tired and sleepy.
I did 45 events on my first year. Advice to my old self, do less cons, just because while it is a good learning experience, it just eats you up, like physically, emotionally.
Burnt out.
I am burnt out, so yeah, past Gary, do less cons, do not try to attempt.
There's a lot of content that you can consume online, on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, of other people that do Artist Alley. So don't be afraid to try everything, and also don't be afraid to admit that maybe something doesn't work for you, even if it works for everybody else.
Design how you want your booth to look like first before you go through like 10 different design changes and $2,000 later.
Focus on your product the most, like the quality of your product, and then also incorporate your knowledge of like design into like your actual booth display. So the idea of composition and flow and everything like that also applies to your booth. So like colors that are iconic to you. So like I love red because like red lipstick, and I have the red tablecloth with the black around it. So like red and black is like a big staple like my brand, and it also is a color that I use a lot in all of my art. So I have a lot of red. I would say like just keep on brand with that, and I feel like finding that niche for you is just going to take you further. Don't copy other people, take inspiration, but like for sure find your thing.
Your psychology worked on me, so.
Oh no.
I mean, the red lipstick as well. Like, I love how you really embrace the branding with the tablecloth, how you dress today as well. Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
That's so impressive.
I find it like, think of like your fashion and like the way you dress and even your booth as an expression of yourself, like an extension, just like your art is.
The key is to go ahead and make connections and also watch other people's content. For example, I've watched Henry's content. I also watch Macy from Mualcaina's content a lot as well. A lot of the advice that they give for starting out in Artist Alley is super helpful, especially for display, because starting out, you might realize that, oh, this product isn't selling, but it's not necessarily your product, it's where you place taste it. And I noticed that a lot within the past 2 events that I've done.
Starting local, figuring out like what is the art that you want to make. Because usually when you start out, you don't have a lot of stuff. You're still like figuring out like, do I want to do prints? Do I want to do like other merch? Right? What is my style? So just like start with something small, with something like really not expensive. Don't go for like the big events until you have like an understanding of like what is your baseline performance, what kind of audience are you trying to appeal to, and how are you going to market yourself. And then once you have that like confidence, then you can like do whatever. And that process can be really quick. You know, you can like do 2 events and be like, okay, I got it sorted. But if you need more time, just like take more time to figure it out.
In a sense, sometimes the artist can feel far removed when you talk about your numbers or things that you make, but then you also talk about a lot of realistic experiences which connect you with people. And do you think that helps with building your audience?
Yeah, I think people like seeing humanness, and people like seeing like your personality and not just like a Word doc of like, you know, these are the numbers and then this is the event. And that can be helpful as well, but I think it's more entertaining, right? For someone to like want to follow you and like follow specifically you as an artist versus like all the other people making content out there.
Focus on fundamentals and just learning how to be a good, solid artist with strong backgrounds, because that's the main struggle. Is just drawing's the hardest part, you know, with making the merchandise and like the prints and selling artist only stuff. It's still the quality of the art that comes first. So I really wish I spent more time to just really hone those skills before I, you know, got into the hustle and bustle of doing the cons and stuff. But we're here now, so it is what it is.
Still continue on to do what you love to do, and you'll be success. Just believe in yourself. You know, it doesn't matter like how much you're gonna make, but it's gonna add up to your own experience.
I really like kimbap. Jiyoon made kimbap today and it was so good. Jiyoon, you're a great cook. Kimbap.
Don't drink coffee because you're going to pee so often and you don't want to leave your table.
To have a better plan. Because when I quit my job and started my business, I just went like full send. Yeah, every single I go on a basket, like I just designed a shit ton of stuff, like, you know, produced it, had high quantities, and then I couldn't get rid of it. So I overinvested at first. That's my biggest thing, is I overinvested. You need to spend money to make money. That is my biggest advice. Always think you need to buy low, sell high. You know, that's kind of like the business model for a lot of things, like even for Amazon, when they do like FBAs, they do buy low, sell high. But that doesn't work, especially when you're starting your own business, because you don't realize a lot of the things that go into business, like for displays. You don't realize like displays cost money and they don't last a long time. You're always constantly spending money to build your brand. That's how it's always going to be. Yeah, don't cheap out on branding. Marketing that's why people pay a shit ton of money for marketing. Like my business card looked like a real estate, but it was so, like, not with my face, but just it was just so boring.
But we don't know that. You know, when you're coming into the space, your only reference a business card is those real estate business cards. And you don't think of the cutesy, oh my god, this is so cute. I remember this, it's an art piece.
My business card now looks like a little mini print, and people, you know, when they first see it, they'll have a better memory of it versus like, you know, my old ones. Oh my god, I don't even know where my old ones are because they're all gone. That's the number one thing.
The success of your business is like really related to the effort you put in.
Input equal output.
Yes, very much so.
Make sure to bring your dolly or your cart, otherwise you're gonna get really big muscles because everything is so heavy. It's impossible.
Everyone should learn to just make a list, because you will forget either the biggest thing or the smallest thing, or you'll forget personal items. So just make a list of everything that you need that day.
Don't expect everything you plan to go how you plan. Every event, no matter what, I always forget something. I haven't had an event where like I didn't forget anything. Even local shows. This event was very close. I thought I had everything down because like I didn't unpack from Awa. I just came like straight. So my bags are like still packed. But I added an additional sticker display and didn't grab an additional sign. So close. But being able to deal with that and know like just because you forgot, like it's not the end of the world. When you're starting out, always make sure to bring snacks and water. I always bring a reusable water bottle so that you can go to like a refill station or bring water bottles to refill throughout the day. But don't drink too fast, or otherwise you're gonna have to pee all day.
At the end of the con, you hold your pee the whole entire con, and then you go to the bathroom all together with all the other artists, and you wait in line and you bond over that collective UTI you're about to have, and then you remind everybody that, wait, we were in line together, let's be best friends.
Moon PR?
No. It doesn't flow as well.
Yeah, you're right.
Just take it one day at a time and make sure to take breaks, you know, not to beat yourself up so much when you make mistakes or the fails. Like, kind of just go through all of it without giving yourself such a hard time, because I feel like at first, like, I'm just like, oh my God, you should have done this better. Don't compare. Like, that was a big factor of mine. I was always like comparing myself to all the booths. I'm like, oh my God, like the self-doubt. And then seeing myself now, I think my childhood self or my younger self would be so impressed and be that, you know, person that I was once like comparing myself to.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, it's all about the whole like journey, I think. So I definitely like tell myself that, hey, you know, be proud of yourself for all your small wins, celebrate the small victories, and enjoy the whole journey, because there's so much, you know, there's so much journey to go.
Know what you want to do going into it. Definitely use all the resources to your advantage, but keep your expectations super low as you start out, and take every single event you do as a learning experience to see what you're doing wrong, what you could be improving upon, what is working, what's not working, and you can only grow from there. That's what I've been doing for 8 years, apparently. If you see people who are really transparent about their numbers, like if you join my Patreon, I post my actual profits and expenses for every show that I do, and it can really bug you in the back of your mind knowing that some people are doing that, but you have to have the perspective that if you're doing it for so long and there's certain resources and experience that other people have. Like, I have a lot of retail experience, so even though I'm an introvert, I know how to talk to people, I know how to talk to customers and engage, and you have to like figure out in a business way like what's working and what's not, because if you don't, then you're only like pouring money down the drain, like doing the same thing repeatedly.
Be consistent. This is definitely your calling, so go for it.
Make the stuff that you want. If there's merch that you're thinking about, like, oh man, I wish I had that, be the one to make it.
Pave the path that no one else would.
Exactly. Like, you know, don't worry about all the other stuff. Just if it's something that you want, other people will follow. Focus on doing what you like and enjoying the process, because this is a very like intensive hobby to have, or like job. So you want to make sure you keep the whimsy and joy. I am also a full-time student, so I'm working overtime these days, but it's okay.
Start out making prints and stickers, since not everyone is in a financial situation to start out with keychains or pins.
Obviously get a helper if you can. I think making your own merch is like really good, because sometimes like I would try and like make like merch that seem popular, but the ones that are popular are the ones that are like just stuff that I just made because I like to make it, and eventually people will see it and like, oh yeah, I really like that merch, and it's because it's like technically it's like because I like it and they like it as well. It's like more niche, so people just end up buying that merch. So those are the ones that are most popular too.
Don't be afraid to be yourself and a little unhinged. You are cringe and you are free. Don't put anything flat on the table, because no one's going to like look flat on the table when they're like across the way. In Macy's display review, I had my stuff flat on the table, so I totally like took that into consideration and then made sure everything is at angle so that people can see it from like far away.
Order small quantities of things, because when you first start out you buy like 50 or 100 or even more than that of whatever individual item, but you've never really tested it before, so you don't know how much of it you're actually going to sell, and who knows, you might be hanging on to those Marvel postcards for 3 years before you get rid of all of them. I don't know from personal experience, just, you know. And then when it does well and you sell out, then you can start ordering larger quantities. So test out with small batches, then move on to the larger batches.
You sound like you're speaking from experience, as in you made a mistake of ordering way too much of one thing.
Or if you order larger quantities, it's cheaper per unit, but if you really think about it, you're still paying up that much money up front. So just because it's cheaper per unit doesn't mean that it's actually cheaper. Again, talking about this girl, hypothetically speaking.
Don't think too much about it and just start. The hardest part is starting, but once you put yourself out there, people will find you and they'll give you the encouragement to keep going.
How did the people find you?
So my first event was a boba, like at a boba shop for a cup sleeve event. I didn't have anything except for my Sailor Moon stickers and my Eevee stickers, and then a couple BT21 stickers. And I was just like, is this enough? Like, I don't know if people will even buy them. Yeah. They're just stickers, like, you know. But they came, they saw, they're just like, oh my god, everything is so cute. And then they started actually buying it. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, okay, I can do this.
You have to be a little delusional to start this, huh?
A little bit,
a little bit.
But it also helps to see other people, like, like you, putting out videos of how they're doing and then actually being successful about it. You're just like, okay, there's, you know, a blueprint. I'm not the only one. Other people are doing it. We can keep going.
Yeah, I like that point about the blueprint because you're not alone in this. Everyone is starting at different points and different times. There's probably someone starting right now and they don't know either.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so there's so many different artists you can look at as a blueprint on how you can get started as well.
It's okay to start off small and then you can work your way up to like upgrade. So for example, like for stickers, you could just use scissors. You don't always need a cutter. Cutters are really nice, but it does take time to learn and it is a really big expense. Sharing tables is also a good way to start off too, especially if you want to keep costs low. So like I started off with cutting stickers by hand. It did hurt my hands a bit, but then I focused on upgrading to a bigger cutter machine. So now I have like 4 cutter machines now.
Be genuine to yourself. Don't feel the need to change what you want your style to be to fit somebody else's, or if you like admire somebody else's style, just do you. You'll just enjoy doing art so much more. Don't feel the need to follow trends. Don't feel the need to like keep up with the Joneses, like in terms of the art world. Just do what you think is right. That's definitely something I would tell my younger self and or, you know, newer artists. So yeah.
Thank you.
Subscribe to Henry's channel.
Always bring lunch because con food is expensive. This thing has saved me. It's called the Hot Logic. I have a power station that I plug it into, so it keeps my food warm.
It keeps it warm?
Yeah. It has a heating compartment right here. Like a hot plate. Not just me, but like all the other artists here probably struggle with heating. So this is a good one for hot food. I think one of my artist friends like recommended it, and very good tip. Shout out to Dharma Cat.
Start with the fandom you like and enjoy what you make.
Don't try to do the super popular thing that you think that everyone else would like. After some time, I found out that just making the things that you genuinely like, you'll reach out to other people who feel the same. It'll be a lot better experience that way.
Minimize your risk as much as possible. Definitely vet conventions you're interested in. I'm from Hawaii, so my overhead was like really high, so I had to make sure any cons I went to, I had a good chance of profiting. And nowadays there's so much resources because of like you guys and vlogs and everything. A lot of information about almost any convention out there. Back at my day, everything was like word of mouth or talking to other vendors.
Be authentic and draw what you like, and the right people will be attracted to you. Be kind to others, to be honest. You don't need to be the perfect artist. So long as you communicate, just be generally nice, and you honestly will find success in the future. I always recommend socializing, and everybody's always shy and so introverted and being like, oh, is everybody going to judge you? Nobody's going to judge you. Everybody likes art.
Definitely try to split a table with another artist. You can cut down your costs, test it out, and see if this is even something that you like to do and you want to pursue in the future.
Don't be afraid to make merch for your niche fandoms. I used to think that, oh no, if it's a really niche fandom, it won't sell. But a lot of the times in Artist Alley, a lot of the merch being sold are from really known and like mainstream fandoms that usually if an attendee is part of a niche fandom and they come across really niche merch, the chances of them buying that merch is much higher because there's not a lot of people selling it. So a lot of my sales have come from like my more niche fandom. So yeah, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid if there's like a niche fandom you want to draw for.
What's the niche fandom you have?
I have Card Captor and I have Bungo Stray Dogs.
I did not know that. I just don't know those fandoms. Yeah, see, but someone does.
Yes.
And they'll buy them.
Yeah, usually if they like see my bungo, they're like, ah, you have them! Gimme! And I'm like, okay.
I would advise people to not be afraid to reach out to other Artist Alley vendors and befriend them or connect with them. Because for me, as someone who is more shy and introverted, I was afraid to reach out to other Artist Alley moots and go out for dinners. I don't want to wait 9 months like how I did to go out to dinner with them. And now some of them are my closest friends.
Will you waited 9 months for someone to invite you to a dinner, or?
Because I'm too nervous to ask people to dinner.
But now you initiate dinners.
Yeah, I'm like, guys, you need to be free. No other option.
It doesn't matter how big your platform is or who you are. You should try to network with as many artists as possible, or just people that you're interested in.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Like some other artist friends that I've met, we met through trading. Because I think Otabi Neko I met through trading stickers. And now we're like super close friends.
Wait, then how do you meet people online?
Even liking people's stories, like react to their stories, and then over time, if they also like your work or they like you as a person, if your personality is through your content, they might think like, oh, maybe we can be friends. And then eventually you go to a con together and it's like, oh my god, I remember you because you're so-and-so. Also, do recommend if you are introducing yourself, please say your username. Some people introduce themselves like their government name, but they don't give me their username, and then I don't find out till later on when they post on their stories like, oh, I met so-and-so and then they bought something from me, and I'm like, I did not know that was you. You should have told me. But nice meeting you.
Yeah. You're like, oh, we were mutuals, but
yeah, and I'm like, why didn't you say anything? Like, you just said hi and then you left. I'm like, what? Oh,
they're shy.
I'm shy too. It's like, I need to know who you are.
That makes all of us.
Have confidence in your artwork. You should always have tape, scissors, and some permanent markers. Being engaging and talking to people when they come up is really, really great. Like, interact, but like, don't be too overbearing either. I mean, personally, I like to, say hi and then just kind of let them do their thing. And then I feel like when it comes to Artist Alley, if people really like your work, they will support you.
I think one phrase that resonates with me is that if you never start, then you'll never know how far or how much you can accomplish. Just do it, as cringy and cliche that is.
Make merch of things you'll buy, because you can make whatever you want. You can be ill and make whatever you want that no one else wants, and make random niche things that literally no one else will buy. Feed into your mentally ill hyperfixations,
Okay.
You gotta support yourself.
Can you let the people know what your mentally ill fixations are?
The green Yuri, I guess. The green Yuri. I got really into posting my original characters, and I did not think anything would come of it. I was so embarrassed to post them, but I just pushed through it and I did it. And I made merch of them completely thinking it wouldn't sell at all. But I feel like if you're really passionate about your original characters, people see that, and then they kind of feed off your energy and they'll like them too. So if you're making original characters and you want to do stuff with them, literally just do it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, at this con, my OC stuff is my best seller, and it's the first time I've ever had it. But it's the stuff that's selling the most, and it's people that there's people that follow me and they're like, oh, I love your characters, blah blah blah. But there's people that don't follow me and they're still buying all the OC stuff and asking me about it and everything, and they yap at me about it, and it's so fun. I feel especially at anime conventions, people just think oh, you have to make anime merch because it's what will sell. But there's overlap, if you're already into that kind of thing. I feel lots of times the original characters people are making in this kind of space is similar to what people like, right? It's same kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So people will still fuck with it, I think.
Yeah,
yeah, right? So yeah.
If you rep it and you rep it hard, then people are like, dude, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
literally. Seriously, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Just having a good variety of different prices of items is really important. So starting from something as cheap as $3 going up to something over 20. It's great to have a price range of things. And then if you're just starting out, I know all of us have our OCs and our original characters that we truly love to draw. But if you want to try to make more sales in the beginning, maybe doing some more fan art might be in your favor.
Research your niche, what you really want to focus on. That'll help you kind of start building that customer base. Started just with drinkware, and I think that's kind of what I'm known for. And people are now starting to kind of see the other things I'm starting to add, my stickers, charms, coasters, etc. I guess that's another thing. Try to think of unique items to kind of introduce into your shop, because I think that's going to make you stand out.
I'd say just do it. Probably not as big as go straight forward to a con or something. I would just say maybe start off with a local market, college fairs like Henry does here. It's a lot less expensive. That's it.
Is that what you did?
Yes, I actually went for a college. I did a college run. They used to do fairs, so I just did drop there. I first started off with prints, and then I wanted to do something different, so I did enamel pins, and then that's when it started spiraling. That's when it started going, and I got more motivated. I got more inspired and started doing more things. I got so many people that had positive feedback. I kind of fell into that. I'm like, oh, I should do more.
Don't bite off more than you can chew. It's very easy to get really overwhelmed, forget to sleep and eat when you're oh, I want to make all this stuff, I want to have a full looking table. It's no, you can start off with smaller things. You can start off with stickers, you can start off with charms. It doesn't have to be
big items and stuff like that, especially when you're comparing yourself to people who have been doing it for years. You're like, oh, they have a lot of stuff, they have a good price range between things that are lower price and things that can go up to $60 or even $100 and stuff, and it's a good goal to set, but you don't have to get into that right away. Like if you're able to, that's great, but like I said, it's better to pace yourself and like not to be overwhelmed with things. Make sure you bring a lot of snacks and stay hydrated. It's great to be passionate, but in the end, you know, you do have to put yourself first. Your mental health blocks along the way, and it can get even more frustrating. So it's better to be very kinder to yourself and kind of go at your own pace and try not to compare yourself to others.
Get some sleep. Your body will make you sleep if you just don't have enough rest.
Don't get sick. Maybe bring some ibuprofen for sure. It's not a fun thing to have a fever and being like sitting under here for like 9 hours.
Be positive. I mean, of course, I go to an event like hoping to make my money back or like making more money, but like for me, it's kind of like more about just the vibes and the people. I'd rather leave with advice, but the money's nice.
You work in the dream job, so how could it be any worse, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You just start making art no matter how big or small it is, as long as it's something you like. Focusing on what you like helps you stand out more instead of copying other people. So, yes, there is always going to be an audience out there, no matter how big or small.
Don't worry too much about catering to the really popular fandoms because the market's low-key oversaturated anyways. Just draw whatever you want, you know?
I think it's really encouraging for someone to hear that because they might feel like obligated to create things that cater to the audience, especially if you're thinking about trying to make money.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, this is like people's income. But truly, if you make what you like, people will come to you.
Yeah, exactly.
You can never predict the market and make a ton of merchandise. Just keep cranking it. My first year, I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't have that much merch, and I also waited till the last minute. Of course, I did that at the same time this year. So prep ahead of time, invest good money in it, and just do what you really love, and that will really show.
Don't ever take edibles Saturday night of a con and drink, because then you won't be tabling Sunday night of the con or Sunday day of the con.
But it's Sunday here and you're here, so.
Yes. No edibles taken last night. First, get off League, uninstall it, and draw more. Second, draw what you want. Don't be pressured to draw what's popular or trendy just to make money.
It's never too soon to start, and it's never too soon. It's never too late to learn. I have met so many people who want to do this kind of thing, and they always say that, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do and stuff. Just jump into it. Yeah. And skill-wise, you're never gonna be good enough. Right. Because you have to learn, you have to make mistakes. Yeah. I guess the only thing that you have to be careful is with money for sure. I feel like it's okay to just save like 1 or 2 because I have met so many people who put all the eggs in one basket. This doesn't work out, and they end up in debt. Like if nobody does this, I'm gonna do it myself, or I'm gonna draw something and I want to see the reactions of people, and that's all that matters. Money always comes and goes. Trends also comes and goes. But the experience that you can make on a convention, it can be the worst day of your life or the best one. Personally, I have so many of both. People are always saying that oh, I haven't gone to art school. I never went to art school. I took a couple of classes here and there.
Say just do it because it's like such a fun experience that like you can't find anywhere else. Seeing people happy over your work is like so rewarding as an artist. Colleges are actually really good because then they have a really cheap table fee. I've seen artists start like with one print, a few stickers, and do well because people are supportive. They'll see that you're trying and it's your passion.
Just have fun, no matter what that is. It doesn't have to be like fun stuff or joke stuff. You can make whatever you want, whatever you would enjoy. When you're having fun too, you like go that extra mile. Somehow you put that little extra sparkle in it or something. I don't know. And it comes out. It comes through somehow.
It's like really easy to feel like you're behind everyone when you just started. That you don't have enough products and your display is not as good. Just like start slowly and like start building your inventory and your product like slowly. Just don't feel rushed.
Start out with small amounts of inventory.
Is that what happened to you?
That's how it happened.
What was the one thing you started off with that you were like, oh, this is way too much I got?
Prints. I ended up just did not do well.
big prints. They like this big, small was the way to go for me. And then really big. That was for some reason like the middle size was just not it.
Start small, don't go big super quickly because you're not going to have enough room in your house. You're probably living in an apartment. Don't do apparel immediately. Just give it some time first. Consider like print on demand sites first before you start ordering boxes and boxes of stock. And then suddenly your dining room is filled with shelves floor to ceiling of nothing but boxes. And you don't have a dining room anymore.
Your dining table is cardboard boxes.
It's literally just boxes.
If you're ordering stuff from other companies, get small amounts. I have hundreds of prints, and I'm selling like 10.
Get more prints.
More prints?
Yeah, like this is just for display. No one's gonna want these. People are like, can I have this? I'm like, oh, okay. So like, even if you're only for display purposes, bring it because someone might want it.
I started online, like just selling stickers, and I built my kind of self from like Etsy and like proving that I can make sales like from my art and from my products and like mailing it out, talking to customers, and it gave me the confidence to be like, okay, I want to do this now in person. Taking that baby step behind the screen was kind of a safe way to like be like, okay, let's do this.
You don't have to start in person at all. It can be really scary. So starting on Etsy.
It's also less expensive too, which a lot of people, when they say they want to start, sometimes funding is a big problem or like what they're scared to go invest in. Yeah, we started at like doing a parking lot racing event. Like there was cars racing behind us. And I made some money there and I was like, oh my God, no way. And then it just kind of like trickled into like doing more and more. And then officially that same year I did my first convention. They had like anime stickers on their cars when they were racing, so I was like squeezing in with my little like pop sockets and cute like stickers, and I was like, ta-da!
Just start with one topic and stick to it. So I start with food, and eventually it branch out to like different topics around the food centric. So yeah, so far so good.
Having like a range of products, like having something really accessible, like $1, $2 things, because sometimes after you have a conversation with your audience, they kind of just want to support you, and you should give that opportunity to people.
Don't be afraid to embrace new opportunities. Like this time is the first time I was open to on-site commissions. A lot of people, they are interested in my art style, but they don't necessarily play the games I make because I make mostly like game fan arts. But they might open for like asking me to do their OCs and everything, so I just put like random sketches over there, and it has been doing so well so far. Like I received like 8-ish commissions.
Get used to the taste of energy drinks and coffee because you're gonna need it. I'm not a morning person, so I never really thought about it before. Dutch Bros is my go-to now. To other artists, I would say comfortable shoes. Don't wear the cosplay heels and stuff like that. Please just be comfortable.
Cosplay top half.
Bottom half, sweats, and the Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
I take into account what we are selling, and I actually draw on my iPad like the table layout, so that way it can help me visualize, maybe like this would be better here for the customer's visibility and stuff like that. And also like trying to make sure that I have enough space to interact with people too.
How do you go about like making sure the back is drawn out too, or is it just like how the front looks?
I usually do how the front looks, but of course, thankfully by doing at least in 2D, you can have multiple layers, so you can always just play around where like, if I have my sand here and then put another layer in front of it where like things go.
Make sure that you have comfortable seating, whether that means bringing a cushion or a pillow to put on the chairs they provide because they're really clunky, or what we do is we have foldable chairs that are also recliners that you can rock back and forth like an old person. We love it. But we've also done stools, like bar stools that collapse, and that way if you have a tall display, you can like look through the window without having to stand all day. So comfortable seating.
I always struggled with turning down a lot of ideas. One thing I can say is don't knock it till you try it, honestly, because if you try it, then you'll know if it's like, hey, this actually works.
You kind of have to be fearless to like really get into the market right now. Expose yourself to as much stuff as possible. It also helped that the niche that I kind of found became super popular. Like my Helva Boss stuff is popping so much.
Just do it scared. I started a year ago, and everything I did
I think I was holding out on because I was too scared to start. But once you start, you'll just figure out how it works and it'll be easy.
All right, what is your secret piece of advice?
Get a swinging camp chair. This is it, guys. This is it.
If you're ever going to participate in any sort of stamp rally, make sure you have anything that's very like-minded with that same theme or already some merchandise around it. Because right now this is my second stamp rally, and I did learn a bit from my first one, but I still did not get my stuff in time for this one I'm a part of. So I don't have as much like X-Men related merch for my stamp rally, and I feel really bad for people who come up to buy from me. I'm just like, yeah, all my other stuff isn't on theme, so please make sure you have enough merchandise for that. Or just wait it out. There's always going to be stamp rallies. There's no rush. Just try not to let the excitement get to your head.
Do as much research as you can and just create as much as you can. Just try everything that you're interested in doing, and then you can weed it out as you go along. I think that's always worth giving everything a shot and seeing what sticks. Starting out in this field and seeing all of these established artists, they have so much on their portfolio. I think that's also really overwhelming as a beginner, but I think that you should just stay true to yourself, see what you're interested in, don't be swayed by what other people are doing, and then just see what works for you.
Just try it out. You never really know until you do it.
Comparison is the death of joy. Even though you might not feel confident about your art, even though your neighbors might be doing better than you, that doesn't mean your art and your sales attribute to your value as a person. So don't be discouraged if you don't do as good as your neighbors. Don't be discouraged if you have bad sales on your first one. It's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen a few times until you get it right, and then once you get it right, you'll be happy, and then along the ride you get to meet great people like Henry and all the other great artists. So just have fun.
Definitely get yourself out there. It's hard to get into the conventions, so if you have already experience, it's easier for you to get in. So even though you think you're not gonna sell, it's one of those where you need exposure, so just go for it.
Carry your cash in a close area. I got robbed recently. Last year, I had a cash box, and it was those fancy ones you go on Amazon. No, keep your cash close to you. Carry it at your hand, fanny pack and all. Keep at least change always for lower bills, and then keep less cash than you'd like to have. Because losing sucks. Your hard work is your hard work. You earn that. You earn that. Yeah. So remember that.
Try a lot of different things when it comes to merch. Just make a wide variety and see what sells, and also just apply even with getting a lot of rejections. It's really competitive.
Yeah. Just apply to anywhere you can. Sometimes there's going to be bad cons, sometimes there's going to be mid cons. You just have to try your best, and it all works out at the end.
Don't give up. I feel like sometimes we all have bad days, bad selling days, but don't let that ever deter you from being I'm a bad artist. My art is not worth it. I think we all have bad days, and that doesn't that doesn't mean your art is any worse or your value of a person is any less.
I used to be an elementary music teacher. Chase your hobbies, not your profession. Hobbies bring you joy in life. Your profession doesn't always do the same, so definitely chase joy, chase your hobbies, and just have fun with whatever you're doing.
I always say that the main hustle is to fund the side hustle. So for me, it's of course, I have a job and I actually enjoy my job. A lot of my sticker designs are just inspired by corporate life, and then just how I'm feeling some days. So a lot of them are memes, and some of them are anime and fandom related, but a lot of them are also just frog, or oh, is this relatable to me? I'm happy when I see my art, and even if nobody else buys it, at least I'm displaying it, honestly.
Don't be afraid to branch out to other interests. So what I've noticed this year is a lot of Sonic merch is very, very popular, and that's something that I'm very passionate about. That's a fandom that I love. So don't be afraid to make merch for niche things.
Find your niche and then just go ham in it. Make as much stuff as you want. The audience will find you, and they will continue to come and find you.
Just to do it. I kind of put off making merch stickers and charms for a lot of years because I was intimidated by it. I was new. I didn't think my art was good enough, but here I am. I'm making a lot of great sales, and people actually want my art. So you can do anything you put your mind to. People will want your stuff.
Keep your head up, kid. I was so sad and depressed as a child.
Oh my god.
I was really hard on myself. So like, and I look back at my old art that I made when I was like 10, 15 with such fondness now, but I looked at it with such disdain when I was that age. Just remember to go back and like give your 13-year-old self a hug and tell her that you did a really good job and that you tried your best, and like stop being so hard on yourself.
Go big or go home. Do all the stuff that you really want to do, and try not to guess what the customer wants, because sometimes you never know.
Have confidence in yourself, because you will inevitably compare yourself, but you need to have the strength and faith within yourself that you're here, you made it, and now you just gotta show up for yourself.
Yeah.
Show up for yourself, and later down the line, do things at your own capacity as best as you can. Even if that means, if you compare yourself, you might consider yourself at a lower level. You're not. You're doing your best. And that is the best thing you can do for yourself.
I feel like when you're starting, you should always have fun with like when you draw, because a lot of people can tell when you're really passionate. If you get stressed out, it's always good to take a break, sit back, and just recollect yourself.
I would say to just not be discouraged if you feel like you're starting off and you're not exactly where you want to be, especially since you still have to learn the ropes, and also because the artist alley market is so saturated with so many different types of artists. Just do what you want, just create what you want, and just share what you love with others, and just enjoy what you do.
Draw what you love, because even if it's not popular, very niche things, if you're going, based off of how much money you want to make at a con to determine if it's successful, a lot of niche stuff, especially like I just started drawing Sonic stuff, which I loved as a child, but a lot of people make fun of you because it's not like a popular thing. It is now because of the movies, but it's really popular, especially money-wise, because there's not a lot of it.
Don't worry too much about how other people are doing. Just focus on finding your own niche, because once you find your own niche, then you'll find out like, oh, there's this like whole community of people that are like, oh, you have this, I want that. You don't need to always follow like what's popular and trends, because sometimes that might not work, especially with how the market works and like oversaturation.
I would say go for it. I waited almost 10 years to start, and I wish that I would have started when I was 20. Don't be afraid. You're not going to regret it. You're not going to regret it.
Not advice from me, but from the actual person that runs Mango Gloves. Pay your taxes. You need to pay your taxes, or else you're going to get
She's been dodging me all day.
No, I wasn't. I just wasn't at my booth. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, look, see, she's dodging me again.
Everything can be a business expense.
Yeah, it can.
Yeah, if you try hard enough, anything can be a business expense.
Could you give me the most egregious one?
What if the IRS sees this?
Never mind, you're right. I had an absolutely lovely time getting into chat with all the amazing artists and learning a little bit about each person, as well as sharing the ribbons and snacks. All of this would not have been possible without my friend and helper Kayla here, so big shout out to her, as well as my friend Sid in the back.
I'm assembling all the ribbons. Here I am interviewing my creator, Henry. That's so stupid.
Of course, I had to do a little bit with myself as well so that I could chat with you guys about my piece of advice. I've been doing this for a year and a half now, nearly. I want to say that I compared myself a lot to other artists, and it's really easy to get imposter syndrome and in over your head about how great other artists are, something that someone is doing that you admire. And I want to say that you don't have to compare yourself to everyone. Admire what other people are doing and take inspiration. Steal like an artist, as they say. But don't compare yourself to everyone and use that as a collective reference for where you should be. Because you're taking your own time, your own path, and it's only you that is the person usually working behind your booth. You're one artist. How are you gonna compare yourself to the best aspects that other people are showing online for their page, for their business, for their art, whatever that might be? Someone has great prints, someone has great videos, someone is really great at networking in this space, someone does a lot of shows. You can't compare yourself to the best aspect of every artist out there. As a collective, take inspiration from others. Don't be so harsh on yourself. Give yourself some grace. You deserve the flowers. Thank you for tuning into this video, and hopefully you got a nugget of knowledge out of this. I had a great time getting the chance to talk with a ton of different artists, a lot of whom were my friends already, and a lot of whom I haven't met, and I just got the chance to talk to them for the very first time at this convention. If you're a new artist, please do not be afraid to network in your space, talk to other people, admire others, and get a chance to show off your art out there. It's a really amazing space. If you would like me to do more videos like this where I get a chance to talk with other artists, feel free to subscribe. Let me know down in the comments below whether you want to see more content like this where I get the chance to talk with other artists. I think it's very valuable to hear the opinions of many different backgrounds. This is definitely different from the normal vlogs I do at anime conventions, but it was a really big project that I wanted to tackle and I wanted to put out into the world, so I appreciate it if you guys let me know feedback about how you liked this video. Bye!